We are the Community Awareness Series of the Jersey City Free Public Library. My name is Darrell David Williams, founder of the Community Awareness Series. We have been celebrating the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King for the past 44 years, and it's an honor for us to continue this celebration of one of the true giants of the human rights and civil rights movement. So with that, we're going to enjoy also some jazz tribute to King and an opening statement by our new library director, Terry Hill, who we welcome here to Jersey City. Thank you for listening in, looking in, and enjoy the program.
Hi, I'm Terry Hill, the library director for the Jersey City Free Public Library. And I'm very excited to be a part of the celebration for CAS, celebrating their 44 years and commemorating the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The Jersey City Free Public Library has 10 branches and 1 bookmobile. Later this year, we'll be adding an 11th branch and possibly a 12th in the near future at Holland Gardens. We have extensive electronic resources available that are all free with using your library card. And this library has been serving the needs of Jersey City residents for over 100 years. A couple of things to note about this library system that are special is we do have the largest Spanish language collection in the state of New Jersey. And we also established the first teen center in the state of New Jersey at our Miller branch. So thinking about the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., 3 things come to mind for me. 1, his passion and dedication to equity and equality. Also his courage and his leadership. When it comes to his work with equity and equality, I've always been very amazed at his ability to see the long-term impact of the power of the vote. I think it was in 1957 or so, he gave a speech, Give Us the Ballot. And I can't quote him in the speech, but essentially his message in that speech was, if you give us the ballot, we will no longer have to rely on the federal government. I think he even was specific about the things that were going on in the South and the injustices there, and how with the power of the vote we could get some anti-lynching laws on the books and to undo some of the injustices that were being done, especially I think he even mentioned the KKK specifically. But you fast forward to today, and a lot of the things that we're dealing with now are the same things that he was fighting against then. There's a lot of voter suppression going on because, again, he knew the power of the vote, and so did the people who were opposed to giving African Americans specifically that right to vote. So, looking at courage, Dr. King was 39 when he was assassinated. So I think about myself as a leader at this point in my life. There are a lot of things that I'm not comfortable with and having to put myself out there, but if you can just imagine such a young man putting himself out for all kinds of criticism, death threats, those kinds of things, and he was putting himself out there in situations where the stakes were very high, and a lot of times it was a matter of life or death for him. So his courage, I think, is certainly unmatched in the short time he was on this earth and all the things that he did accomplish then. His leadership, certainly he was the person who was leading the movement and delivering the message, but he was also willing to do the very dangerous at times, gritty work to be out on the street marching for freedom and to address the injustices and inequalities in our society. So as we think about commemorating Dr. King, we do have to honor all the sacrifices that he made, as well as the other giants of the civil rights movement. And if we don't do that, especially when it comes to voting, we are bound to just repeat our history, because we have seen recently what that can do when we don't exercise that right. Again, thank you, and I am so honored to be part of this organization and working with CAS in celebrating their 44 years.
Hello, we are the Community Awareness Series at the Jersey City Free Public Library, and we're celebrating one of our annual tributes to the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And we have a wonderful band that will be performing. Dr. King had also spoke about jazz and the role it plays in society, and referring to it as freedom music. There's a dynamic speech he made in Berlin, Germany about jazz music. So we should be very proud of that, and the fact that he understands that jazz is even beyond music. It's about the spirit, it's about struggle, and it's about correcting the negativities out here in society. It's about the freedom to vote, the freedom to be all, as they say, all that you could be. As I mentioned, we have a terrific band here, the Michael Cochrante Quartet. We also refer to it as the MLK Tribute Band for today. And Michael Cochrante is a dynamic musician, pianist, composer, works with a number of the universities here in the metropolitan area, as well as he has performed with a number of legendary musicians such as Clark Terry, Marvin Hannibal Peterson, Calvin Hill as well, and Michael Brecker, Sonny Fortune, and the list goes on. But we're going to now dive into the music. That's what we're here for, because it is spiritual and it is soul. So here is the dynamic Michael Cochrante Quartet.
Thank you. That was Tenor Madness by Sonny Rollins. You are listening to the great Joe Ford on alto saxophone, the great Matthew Parrish on bass, and the great Steve Johns on drums. Yours truly, Michael Cochrante on piano. Our next tune is going to be a tune by the great pianist Larry Willis, titled To Wisdom the Prize. So for our next tune, we're going to do a tune by the great composer and saxophonist Wayne Shorter. And this is entitled Oriental Folk Song. For our next composition, we would like to do a composition by the great John Coltrane entitled Naima. And we're going to finish out our program with a tune by the great pianist Cedar Walton entitled Bolivia. So this has really been a privilege for me, and I'm sure the rest of the band, to perform for Dr. King. I remember my first year in college. I went to Boston University, and my first summer back home, I worked in an office with Dr. Kenneth Clark, who wrote the book Dark Ghetto, and we were doing community work in New York City. Roy Ennis was in the office, and several people. And I remember one afternoon, Dr. King came in, and I actually got to meet him and shake his hand. And I just can't tell you how much of an honor that was for me. So again, thank you very much, Dawood, and the Community Awareness Series of Jersey City Public Library for having our group, and it's been an honor for us to play. Thank you.
This concludes our tribute to the late, great freedom fighter, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And what way to go out with such beautiful music from the Michael Cochrante Quartet and the wonderful band. So very inspiring, very uplifting, and we'll continue to march on. So thank you once again for looking into the Community Awareness Series of the Jersey City Free Public Library. Thank you.